Hello, dear friends. Ramadan Kareem. My name is Noha, and I'm part of the KHDA Wellbeing team. I'm joined today by my colleagues Lubna, Greta, Qamariya, Luke, and Nada, and together we'll be facilitating today's workshop. Welcome to week 2 of the Dubai School Wellbeing Workshops for 2021. Last week, we heard some amazing presentations by students and international wellbeing experts. We hope you had the chance to engage in those workshops. If not, their sessions have been recorded and will be shared on the New Days, New Ways website this week. I would like to now play a short video on the results for the Wellbeing Census.
"2020 was a year like no other. Our lives changed, and we changed. Through all this, our well-being became more important than ever." In November and December 2020, more than 100,000 students from 163 nationalities from grade 6 to 12 across 189 schools completed the Dubai Student Wellbeing Census, the fourth year in a 5-year initiative. At the same time, more than 10,000 school staff across Dubai completed the Adults at School Wellbeing Survey. Both the census and the survey are designed to give our community the chance to make themselves heard and to give school leaders the data they need to improve well-being in meaningful ways. The results show the areas where we thrived and where we struggled. One of the most important indicators of high well-being is getting a good night's sleep. This year, students in Dubai slept better than they have for years. 60% of students in grades 6 to 9 and more than 40% of students in grade 10 to 12 said they had a good night's sleep at least 5 nights a week, a great improvement on the previous 3 years. They also had better and more meaningful relationships with their teachers. Emotional engagement with teachers, another indicator correlated with high well-being, has been slowly increasing since the first census 4 years ago. This year, it jumped to 70% for students in grades 6 to 9 and to 65% for students in grades 10 to 12. Our well-being improves when we have the language to talk about it. This year, students' wellbeing literacy continued to get better, with more students saying that they feel comfortable communicating about their well-being. More students also found that their relationships with their friends actually improved. They also felt more confident about their schoolwork. And they did more physical activity than in the previous year. Satisfaction with life increased for boys, but stayed about the same for girls in grades 6 to 9. Adults at Dubai schools felt the impact of 2020 differently. Fewer adults said they were consistently thriving compared with last year, and more said they were struggling. More adults said it was harder to switch off from work, and many worked longer hours. Sleep was shown to be just as important for adults as it is for students. The adults who said they were thriving had better quality of sleep. And just like the students, more adults said they were feeling physically stronger and healthier than in the previous year. 2020 was a year that challenged us all in different ways, but living in Dubai, we knew it would make us stronger. Throughout the pandemic, Dubai students, teachers, school staff and parents have worked together to make sure that no matter what happened, we always had each other. Whatever 2021 brings us, we know we'll still be strong and we'll still be hopeful of a happy and fulfilling future.
We'll be using the Menti platform as a way to engage with you all today. As we wait for a few more people to join us, may I kindly invite you to please go to menti.com and enter the code of 71334123. You're going to see the first question, which is, what have been your main sources of resilience over the last year? So I'll repeat the code again. It's 71334123. Over the next week, educators in Dubai schools will be sharing what has worked well for their school when it comes to the well-being of the staff and students. Our speakers will also share how they have used their Dubai students' well-being census data. Okay, I can see a few answers here. Friends, family, sense of humor. Can I see more? Okay, I'll repeat the code again. It's 71334123. Okay, listening, meditation, kindness, colleagues. Oh yeah, I miss my colleagues. Family, internal resilience. Wow, work, hope, listening. Oh, food. Okay, I'm hungry now. Pets, nice. Cool. Please keep Menti open in the background as we will return to the platform at the end of the workshop. And now I would like to welcome the wonderful Juliana Abdessamad. Juliana worked as a quality assurance and parent relation executive at Al Ittihad Private School in Jumeirah. Juliana joined Al Ittihad Private School since 2001, and she is in charge of the well-being since 2017. Today, she will be focusing on the social emotional well-being, and she will be sharing their experience on reading their well-being census data and creating an action plan. I'll be back at the end of Juliana's session to facilitate the Q&A discussion. If you have a question, please add it to the chat feature on the right of your screen. For now, over to you, Juliana.
Thank you, Naha. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a good day. Just give me 1 minute to share my screen with you. Okay. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so as Ms. Nuha, it's always been a pleasure to be with you live. As Ms. Nuha said, I'm coming from Ittihad Private School in Jumeirah. I'm in charge of following up on the well-being for the school and continue with my other role as the quality assurance and the parent relation executive. Today in our session, we're going to focus on social emotional well-being, and we're going to share in Ittihad Private School Jumeirah, what have we been doing with the results that we received with the census data, who was involved, and how do we prepare our action plan. Just a minute, okay. Just to give you a brief about our journey with well-being in Ittihad Private School Jumeirah, we started in 2017, and we were very excited when we were called by KHDA to pilot the well-being census, to be one of the schools that were piloting the well-being census. It was something very interesting and very new to us, and we were learning a lot. After receiving the results and we get to know more about it, we started working in the school, and we started having some well-being champions from the students and teachers since 2018 till our current day. In 2019, again, through the help of the KHDA and the different workshops they do, we got to know about the positive education and we were able to sign a contract with the Institute of Positive Education, and we started training, and we'll go more into details of that. This year we are continuing with positive education. We are introducing character strength in our curriculum, and we had training sessions for our middle leadership team, and this includes our counselors, our dean of students, our year leaders, head of departments, and different people from the middle leadership team. In Etihad Private School, when we started looking at our data since 2017, we thought that if it's not a whole school approach, we will not be able to move anywhere. We need to make sure that everyone in the school is involved and they know very well about the well-being census data. So when we receive our data from the KHDA, the first thing we do is we make sure that we involve all the stakeholders at IPSJ. This means students, staff, parents, and everyone in the school. So we start with the senior leadership team, and we look at our data and we try to highlight. In our Etihad, in our school, we always have a policy of thinking positive. So we always highlight the positive points in any data we receive, and then from there we see what is going well and why, what is the reason behind the things that we are doing well in. And then from there we look at the points of areas of concern, and we can learn from our positive points. So how can we move forward and improve the other points? So going more into details, we include our students through the Student Council. From last year, we started having representatives in the Student Council. We call them the Wellbeing Champions, and these people were helping us in so many events that we are doing in the school concerning well-being and positive education, character strength, and all these things, happiness. They help us prepare events. They are the voice of the students always through being part of the Student Council. This year we're focusing more on them being part of analyzing more the data and putting an action plan as a student body. Moving to the staff are the main part. We all agree that teachers in the classroom are the main part for the well-being of everyone, or mainly the students. If a teacher knows how to deal with the students, and if a teacher, they know the character strength of their students, they know the weaknesses of the students, they can work with them more and more to let them understand their own well-being and know how to cope with any situation they pass. So when we move to the teachers, through our PD sessions, what we do is we put the teachers of definitely grade 6 to 8, because this is where we do our well-being census and this is where the data is coming from. We put them together in a room and we put them in groups, and we give them the data of the well-being census for the current year. And we ask the teachers to analyze the data. And again, thinking positive, we highlight first the things that we are doing well in our school. And we start, as groups of teachers, we start putting and highlighting the reason behind the things. So let me give you an example. We're doing very well in students said that the majority of the students said they feel safe at Etihad Private School, Jumeirah. So we start looking, why do you think the students are feeling safe? What makes them feel safe? And then after that, we discuss it and we share it as a group. And then we move on and we start highlighting the areas of concern. And we'll see some examples now of the PD. We also have well-being champions, part of our staff community. So we have teachers who represent well-being as well. And they help us again in organizing the census itself, and preparing and organizing events when we have well-being events in the school. When we move to the parents, this year we're going to work very closely with the Parent Council, because again, the students, they spend a lot of time at home, and there are so many characters and so many habits and so many understandings in life that comes from home. So we need the parents to be educated as well about well-being. We need them to help us and support their kids in their well-being and in different areas of well-being. So this way we make sure that it's a whole school approach, so everyone is involved in the school when we are looking at our data. Never ever say that as a leadership we can look at the data, get the results, put an action plan, give it to our school community and tell them this is what you have and you need to do it. It has to be everybody's involvement in the action plan, because this is where you feel that it's coming from them and it really represents them. As I was mentioning in my previous slide, so what we usually do when we receive our data, we do the PD for teachers, we work with the student council, we're going to work with the parent council, and we have initiated 2 years back an online platform for goal setting called My Vision, and I will explain more about it now. We introduced positive education and character strength. We had training sessions and we had a contract signed with the Institute of Positive Education. Definitely we cannot forget the role of the counselors, the dean of students, and the career counselor as well, because they are the main part that works with the students day to day. Coming back to our main focus for today, we're looking at social emotional well-being. Just to remind you what comes under social emotional well-being and what kind of questions our students answer in the census when they receive it from the KHDA. It covers all the things that are listed on my slide. And in my opinion, I feel that the social emotional well-being is the main key of the well-being of the student and the other criteria that comes in the KHDA well-being census. If I feel that I have emotion regulations, then I'm able to have more friendship, happy and healthy friendship. If I don't have a lot of worries and if I'm resilient, I'm able to achieve more. I'm able to be engaged more in my class. I'm able to stand up and say, okay, I did not fail, I'm going to try again. If I understand my own well-being, which is the well-being literacy, if I know what makes me happy, if I know what makes me feel safe, if I know how to deal with my teachers and all the other things that we see in the well-being census, I know how to be a person with high well-being. So I feel that's why I'm focusing on social and emotional well-being today. In this small graph, this is a sample of our current results. So we are doing very well compared to schools in Dubai. We are very happy with the results that we received. We start highlighting what we see is, as we said, is going well and what we see is not going well. For example, our main focus was last year was resilience. And I will go now into details. How did we focus on that and how did we get everyone in the school involved in this? Telling you about our action plan, I've mentioned that the teachers go into sessions to analyze the data. What I'm showing you here are samples of the sessions that we had the years before. In the first paper, we're seeing a group of teachers who decide to draw it as a graph and start looking at all the areas in the well-being census and highlight what we need to focus on and discuss and our positive points. In our second paper, we're seeing an action plan where a group of teachers were looking at breakfast. In the second year of the well-being census, we had issues where we found that not a lot of our students are having healthy breakfast. So we started working on that. And they have created an action plan, and this went into our canteen people. We shared it with the canteen and we worked with them very closely. We worked as well with the head of sections to make sure that the students have enough time for that. We worked with the parents as well. The third paper, what we're seeing over here is students being involved. And this was a question that the students had to go to the board and answer: what makes me happy and how can I help others be happy? So it shows you how we are involving everyone and how teachers and students and parents are being involved in preparing our action plan. My vision. I've mentioned that we have initiated 2 years back an online platform. This was something that was homemade in IPS Jumeirah and Ittihad Private School Jumeirah. And this idea came when we saw that resilience was one of the points that we need to look at in our school. So what we did is we have created an online platform for the students. And you're gonna ask yourself, what does my vision mean and why my vision? Yes, my vision came from the name of the famous book of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, because this is how we start our sessions when we are introducing my vision for our students. We give them examples of things that happened in real life and where people that have achieved the success they want and achieved their dreams. UAE, from desert to space, Hazza al-Mansouri and his dream coming true to being in space, and the list goes on and on. So I'm going to share one of the videos that it's a very short video, and it shows you how we start with our students. At the beginning of the year, we take class by class, and we start with them, giving them video and inspirational speeches and inspirational videos to explain more. And here we're focusing about resilience. This happened the year before and even 1 year before. So we start talking to them about resilience, and we give them examples. We watch videos together, we reflect on the videos, we have discussions, and then from there they go into the platform, which I'm going to explain for you now and how we do it. So it's a very short video that can tell you how we address resilience to our students.
Who are you going to be? And if you'll notice, I'm not asking what are you going to do, but who are you going to be? I'm asking you about how you plan to live your life every day. How are you going to respond when you don't get that job you had your heart set on? For all of you who are going to be teachers, what are you going to do if the students in your class next year just don't respond to your lessons? For all of you going into business, how will you react when your boss gives you a goal that feels way too high? See, these are the moments that define us. Not the day you get the promotion, not the day you win Teacher of the Year, but the times that force you to claw and scratch and fight just to get through the day. The moments when you get knocked down and you're wondering whether it's even worth it to get back up. See, those are the times when you've got to ask yourself, who am I going to be? And I want to be clear, this isn't just some vague platitude about building character. In recent years, we've actually been seeing a growing body of research that shows that skills like resilience and conscientiousness can be just as important to your success as your test scores or even your IQ. For instance, West Point cadets who scored high on things like grit and determination were more likely to complete basic training than those who ranked high on things like class rank, SAT scores, and physical fitness. So what we're seeing is that if you're willing to dig deep, if you're willing to pick yourself up when you fall, if you're willing to work and work until your weaknesses become your strengths, then you'll develop a set of skills that you can mold and apply to any situation you encounter, any job you might have, any crisis you might confront. But you got to make that choice. And let me just share just a little secret before I end. As someone who has hired and managed hundreds of young people over the course of my career, whether it was during my time as a lawyer, as an administrator, as a university.
This is one of the videos that we share with the students when we are talking about my vision, and when we were focusing on resilience. So many students we see, if they fail the subject or if they studied hard for an exam or a test and they did not do well, you see them hiding their marks, and then they don't want anyone to ask them, and they think that that's it. I'm not good in math. Don't try with me. I can't do any better. That's me. I can't do any better. I can't write English paragraphs. I can't write more than 200 words. I can't do it. So this is where we want to change our students. We want them to believe that every student can succeed. Every student with resilience can reach their dreams, and every student can set goals for themselves and they can achieve the goals. We also link it definitely to the UAE government, the vision of the Sheikh Mohammed, as I said. The way the UAE is switching the whole government into electronic and smart government, and moving the whole UAE into #1 in the world. In this photo, this was used in one of our national day. It was the theme of our national day, and we were showing our students how UAE started from finding petrol to announcing the United Arab of Emirates, and then moving into starting their own Emirates Airlines, and then the metro, and the first Burj Khalifa, and then the passport being the first passport, and all the dreams were coming true. You're going to see the logo here because Etihad Private School was founded in 1978, so that's why for our students we put it. And then moving into reaching Expo. So we try to show and link that you're living in a country that teaches all of us what is resilience, and how can I be a resilient member of this community, or as a student. And then after having discussions with that and reflect on the videos and the speeches that we hear, we open the platform. The platform gives the student access, and they have to log in using a username, a unique username and password. As I said, it's a homemade thing that we created, and it helps the students achieve their academic goals and their social goals. And from this, we try to teach all the students that you can reach whatever you dream. You have so many students who you sit with in grade 9, 10, 11, and they think that I've always dreamt to be a doctor, but I'm not doing well in chemistry, and that the university will not help me. So through this, we're helping them at early stages to put their goals and set their dreams, and then help them to achieve step by step. Definitely, we work again very closely with the counselors and the career counselors. I'm going to go into this. The students, when they log into this platform, very quickly, I'm going to explain about it. They see their scores from last year, and they set their goals for this year, and then for the current semester, and then they have to put the strategies. How are they going to achieve their goals? Like by doing what? And then we ask them to set a social goal, and a social goal can be anything. And it doesn't have to do anything with academics. It might be losing weight. It might be stop bullying my friend. It might be having a better relationship with my parents. It might be focus on my praying, eating healthy food. Any social goal that the student will decide. We will be going around while the students are working on this online platform, and we will be discussing with them, why did you choose this? How do you think you can do it? And again, the student have to put strategies for that. At the end of the semester, the student will have the chance to open again the same platform, and they will start putting themselves a green, a happy, and a sad face if they achieved their target or did not achieve. But this does not stop here. We celebrate the people that achieved their targets, even if my target was to get 60%, and I don't want to fail math anymore. We celebrate this because they were able to achieve something, and they believed in themselves, and they did not stop with their first failure. So, and then students who were not able to achieve, this is where the work starts. We sit with them and we reflect on their strategies. Did you follow the strategies you put? What stopped you from following it? How can we help you with this? Is there anything that you can do? Do you think, okay, let's see, you're doing very well in Arabic. What are you doing different in Arabic? Let's try to focus on this and other subjects and see what we can do to help you in this, even with the social goal. So this is something that we tried in our school, and it's helping students. And the discussion that you hear when you're doing this is amazing. Of course, the teachers in their classes, they continue to do their own subject goal setting sheets, which they do in each subject after every assessment. The second point that I've mentioned is introducing positive education into our curriculum. As I've mentioned, 2 years back, we've signed a contract with the Institute of Positive Education through Geelong Grammar School. And we had the chance to train 85 of our teachers and our senior leadership team. And then this year we continued by training more from the middle leadership team, as I mentioned before, the counselors, the dean of students, the year leaders, some of the head of departments. And we started seeing from last year so many implementation and so many integration of positive education into our curriculum, and focusing on the character strength. So we try to teach our students, if you understand yourself very well and if you know your character strength, you know how to achieve anything you want in life. This is an example of a lesson. The objective was to identify resilience and analyze the ways to be resilient. This was done by a teacher in the high school. And there were questions that the students had to answer, and then they had to reflect on that. This is a sample of a lesson plan where another teacher is also integrating resilience and understanding more about resilience. I'm going to share again a very short video that was done by 4 of our amazing teachers in the high school who worked into introducing the character strength into our curriculum. They have taught the students in the high school how to discover and learn about their character strength, and they've labeled them in colors. And then they started using these colors in different projects to make every student understand their character strength and how they can utilize these characters to achieve what they want and to maintain their well-being and be happy students, healthy, and achieving everything they want. So here we see the students labeling the different character strengths into colors, and they will start using colors now in different projects. So we start seeing the character strength in action, where students, they discovered their own character. Here they are designing abayas, and they're using the colors of their own character strength to design a abaya or a t-shirt that represents my character strength. When Hazza al-Mansouri reached space, the students in science, they were analyzing the character strength of Hazza al-Mansouri and looking into what helped Hazza al-Mansouri reach space and achieve his dreams. And you can see here they are showing what they think Hazza al-Mansouri has in his character as strength that helped him achieve his targets. Another group of students in the high school as well, they created their own bracelets, and they were wearing it with the colors that represents as well their character strength. So you see the students we're digging more into the well-being of the students and educate them. How do you discover your character strength and how can you utilize them to achieve more in your life? We moved to the elementary section, and the curriculum coordinator in the elementary section, she works with the teachers at the beginning of every year to focus on the core values of our school. The core values of our school are very similar to so many criteria in the well-being census, and we try a lot to link them when we're doing activities. They also do growth mindset lessons at the beginning of the year to make the students understand it. Over here we see an activity, a fun activity that makes the students move in the class and be active, and the teacher is asking the students to stand up if they ever thought or said I can do it. This is too hard for me, I'm giving up. I'll never be as clever as her or him. What's the purpose behind that? We're making students understand that it's okay if you failed once. The main point is how you are going to learn from this. Because a lot of people, they are shy to say that I did it wrong. They are shy to answer because they don't have the confidence. So this is what we're changing over here. Another example over here, we have discussions in classes happening as well in the elementary section. Have you ever been embarrassed to ask for help? And when you start having one student, or where the teacher shares a story with them, you see the students started talking about it, while before you see students are very hesitant to talk about their problems and their weaknesses. So that's why you will feel that their well-being will start going down, because they don't know and they don't understand what makes them happy and well in life. This is samples of what our social counselor does in the school. Our social counselor is always in direct contact with the students through the school platform that we use, Schoology. She throws questions for the students and she let them answer and interact with each other under her supervision. We have some question over here. What do you do when you get angry, and describe your feelings? So students will start talking, and we all know when you talk about your problem, it makes you feel better, and you see that others as well feel the same as me, and they are able to do it. And how can I be better? Another question was, what makes you sad? And you have why do they bully? Over here we were covering bullying in this in the month of bullying, and the social counselor works very closely with our students. Talking about well-being, talking about the character strength, we directly think of one subject: moral education. Moral education is linking the well-being in the school and the data, the census data, a lot with the lessons. And they try to emphasize the things that comes out from the action plan through their moral education lessons, with the help of the head of moral education. Again, as I mentioned, the dean of students and the counselors, they work and they have one-on-one sessions with students. We are focusing. This was already being done in Ittihad Private School, but we are focusing more on that. We hired more counselors in the school. We are training the dean of students to be working and utilizing the positive education skills when dealing with the students' social and emotional well-being, when they're dealing with their behavior issues, when they're dealing with their academic achievements, to make sure that all the students are well and they understand their own well-being. Counselor sessions, the counselors do a lot of sessions as well to educate parents and students on mindfulness, self-love, friendship, and etc. They post the pre-recorded videos, like usually what the counselors do. They do art therapy. The students can directly book with them. We also have the career counselor. We also share the data census with the census data with the career counselor, and we especially the grades 9, 10, 11, 12, because we also look at how the students and how our cohorts results are being different from grade level to grade level, and we found that the transitional years are things that we need to look at. So the career counselor works on the study plan process of the student, online face-to-face, online or face-to-face one-on-one sessions with the students, guiding the students on their career pathways, giving them options. If I can't go into medicine, what else can I do? I want it to be something in the medical field, and so on. So what we see from what I'm trying to share over here is that we make sure that everyone is involved when it comes to the well-being of the students. It's a whole school approach. We are now looking into more measurable and tangible assessments that can help us learn and dig more in the well-being of each individual. Because we want to understand the well-being of our students more. We want to analyze our well-being census data to give us more information about each and every student. And again, as I said, make sure you involve everyone in your school. Make sure that students, staff, leadership, parents They know your results from the well-being census. This is nothing to hide. This is something as your first step to start on achieving more and more in your school. Thank you so much for your attendance. I hope you benefited from the things that I'm trying to share with you that we do at IPS Jumeirah. And I will give it back to Noha if there's any questions and answers.
Thank you so much, Juliana, for that beautiful presentation. Yes, I do agree when you said that social emotional is the main pillar of the well-being. I love how your students are so involved in their own well-being goals and strategies. To our audience, please add your questions to Juliana in the chat feature, and we will try to have them answered. Okay, Juliana, are you ready?
Ready?
Great. Okay, so your first question is, do you have specific classes allotted to positive education, or do teachers incorporate it into their lessons?
Listen, Noha, very nice question. When we did the training for the teachers, we made sure we took teachers from each grade level, even from KG. We did not even think of focusing only 6 to 9 because the well-being census is focusing on 6 to 9. We went down to KG, to primary teachers, elementary teachers, because we believe if a student is raised on well-being literacy and understanding well-being and positive education, then they will be able to reach a point in the high school where their well-being is high, and it will reflect in our census, and we can see that yes, we are doing a good job. I can tell you that maybe we can see it more in specific subjects than others. We can see it more in science, in English. We saw it more in Arabic. We saw it in art. And we're planning to have it, with the help of the head of curriculum, we're planning to have it integrated in all and each and every subject that we run in the school.
Thank you. Okay, question number 2. Thank you for sharing these wonderful ideas and resources, Juliana. I spot kindness as one of your top character strengths. Could you tell us a bit more about involving parents in positive education, please?
Okay, as I mentioned, positive education was something we started only 2 years back. So we had last year a big training for our teachers, and this year we're continuing with the middle leadership team. To be honest, the parents were introduced to positive education through our orientation sessions, and we discuss it when we have parent council. We make them understand what we do in the school and how we are implementing, because usually in our coffee mornings we have best practices. We share best practices that happen in different classes. So a lot of time we'll see a teacher sharing a best practice of positive education happening in one of the classes. So this is where the parents are involved in the positive education. They support us, they help us. The plan is to have them more and more involved in that. I hope this answered the question.
Yes, thank you, Juliana. Okay, question number 3. What are some examples of what your students have done to support well-being at their school?
We had a group of girls in the high school who have organized a mindfulness week by themselves. They prepared everything from A to Z. They went to their section principal and they put the proposal in front of her and they said, this is what we want to do. And they prepared several activities during this week and it went amazing. They are also involved in the International Happiness Day that we celebrate every year. So they are part of the plan that we do. I can say proudly, we say that our students were part of the KHDA Wellbeing Summit as well, and they came back with so many suggestions and ideas. Student Council help us a lot as well. They're always the voice of giving us ideas on how to do things and what do we need to change and things like that.
Okay, question number 3. Can you talk about some of the different strategies you use with the younger students versus the older students?
Well, the dean of students actually in the younger or earlier stages or earlier classes and grade levels, the dean of students and the counselor, they work more with the students. What we usually stress on is the reflection part. If there's anything, let me give you an example. If it's a behavior issue that we are facing, so we always ask the student to reflect on what they do or what they did, and to put solution and to think of how did your behavior affect others, whether it's the teacher, it's your parents, it's your classmates, it's someone who is playing outside. So we always stress on the reflection part and asking the students to take the responsibility of their action and put their own solution for the problem that they caused for themselves and the others. While in the high school, the students are more mature, so it's more like a discussion. In the high school, we always involve the student, even when we have a parent meeting with the parent of a specific student for any issue. So we involve the student as well in our meeting, and we make them as well discuss what we are facing with their problems.
How much time per day or per week would you say you allot to discussions with children around building resilience or character strengths?
Well, I can't tell you how many hours because it's being integrated into the curriculum. So the teachers, whenever they have chance in any subject, they try to integrate positive education or the character strength skills into their lesson. So let me say we're reading a text in English, and we are reading about a famous person, or we are reading about someone who have achieved something very big in their life. So we try to link this to the character strength. We are doing as the example that I showed you with Hazza al-Mansouri. We looked into the character strength. So it happens integrated within the curriculum. So it's not like we don't have a specific period that we teach positive education. And it's integrated into the curriculum. And as I told you, we started this, and next year it's going to be more focused. And as I said, we're having also more measurable assessments that we're going to look at through our subjects. Moral education helps us a lot, and other subject teachers are integrating it into the subject. So it's not a specific period.
Okay, last but not least, can you recommend some material and training related to positive education?
Is that an advertising or what? Okay. Institute of Positive Education helped us a lot, to be honest. They have a lot of resources. When we did the training with them, each teacher left the training with a booklet of different ideas on each and every criteria of teaching skills examples. This was an amazing resource for us, to be honest. Another resource that we use actually, but it's not like a teaching material resource, is our past results. We compare our past results with our well-being results, and we try to see how it can help us, but it's not like a teaching material that you're asking about. Materials and resources mainly is the Institute of Positive Education that we signed with.
Okay, before everyone leaves, I kindly ask you to share your feedback by answering 2 questions through the Menti platform. Can you please share the Menti question?
In my turn, Noha, I'm going to say thank you so much for helping in this session, and thank you for giving me this opportunity for the KHDA. And I just want to add something for all the schools that are attending. The way that the Power BI is helping us analyze our data is amazing. Utilize it, use it as much as you can. Whoever is in charge of the well-being data, it is super. In one click, you can see so many things, and you can dig more and more and understand what is happening in your school. So thank you, KHDA.
Thank you, Juliana. Okay, so the first question is, now here we would love to know key takeaway that you took from the webinar today. What have you learned from Juliana's session today? So key takeaways that I will take from the webinar presented today. Okay, we can see keep safety, utilize and share, any more? Okay, well-being is a whole school approach. IPN training helpful. Very enlightening session with proper direction of what to do and how to go about. Can we see more? Involve everyone. Practical approaches to enhance well-being as a whole school approach, yes. New strategies. The importance of involving everyone in the well-being process. Honesty, yeah. Be positive, yeah. Always be positive. Ways of implementing character in school. Whole school involvement is an utmost necessity. Very insightful session. We need more sharing best practice, especially during these challenging times. Let students lead. Need to involve teachers in well-being action plan. Thank you, Juliana. And finally, the session today has been recorded and you can access today's session and other sessions by going to New Ways, New Days website. And the next session we have is tomorrow, Thursday, 6th of May at 10 o'clock. It's about the impact of COVID on students' well-being with David and Anna from Government of South Australia. We hope you can join us there. If you have not registered, please register at the link that we have posted in the chat to get access to the link if you have not already registered and receive the agenda for all the workshops. Remember, we are creating a culture of well-being, not an add-on and not something you do once in a while. Must commit to it at school, integrating well-being into the heart and curriculum of the school. Love that you said that well-being is not competitive. It is a collective effort. Once again, thank you, Juliana. Thank you, everyone, for attending the session and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shukran, Juliana.